Hello, this is Denise from Something Beautiful Handcrafts, and welcome to Makers Monday. Okay, so this month of October is Socktober. It's also Inktober, but when given a choice between fiber arts and the paper crafting, as far as which I'm going to present, the fiber arts are going to win. Although I've been a paper crafter since elementary school, when we used to hand make and hand letter signs for our church. So, well, at any rate, I was trying to figure out what I was going to show you for Socktober, which is why this is my first and only Socktober video. There's a lot going on here. So first of all, I'm going to start with my own sock yarn. If you don't know, I dye yarn, I dye fiber, been doing it for quite some time. And so I decided I wanted to dye some yarns for the holidays. First is this one right here. And I hadn't really given this one a name. It was supposed to be red and silver. I decked the halls with boughs of holly, but it didn't quite turn out silver. The silver turned out brown. There's a little gray in there, but I still like it all the same. I need to swatch that. And this one is Holly Jolly Christmas. And as you can see, it's traditional Christmas colors. Just enough red and green to make the season bright. Need to swatch that guy up too. So they're in my Etsy shop and I need to get them swatched up. One of the most important things that I've really been working on with dyeing the yarn is trying to avoid pulling. And so I've been working with how much white space I'm leaving in the yarn and the length of spaces between the colors and the amount of colors in order to prevent pulling. And if you don't know what pulling is, it's when blocks of color fall in line and create stripes or zigzags, when you either wanted kind of the lines or you wanted a dashed effect. Okay, so this is pulling, this black is pulling versus these colors right here. Okay, so next I want to talk to you about these colors. This is wonderful yarn sent to me from Julie. See if I can find one with a card on there. The Alpaca Mom. Here's Julie's card. Now, this particular batch is for me to make socks for her store. But I'm thinking that if you were to contact Julie, she might actually sell some of the dyed yarns. I don't know, but her information is there. Okay, so this is alpaca merino and nylon sock yarn from her own alpacas that she has milled. And she has some wonderful colors here. This is the camo. And I think it's really cool because you don't see the black quite as much in the camo, but it stands out really nicely once it's knit. And it is trimmed. You've got the toes, the heel, and the cuff are all done in an olive green. And then the next one is, this is my favorite. It's blue. There's all kinds of blues. It's like a blues golden sunset. I just love blue. And here it is. Looks like this. Isn't that just gorgeous? And the cuff on that one is this like tawny gold. It's a really nice color. And the last one is like a light camo. And it's also in the gold. And it looks like this. Beautiful. So I am waiting for a few more skeins. Then I'm going to knit up this one and this one. And they're just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous colors. And of course, alpaca, so wonderfully soft. And these will all be in Julie's store. You know what? I wanted to mention these mitts. So last week I talked about the fingerless mitts. These are made from sock yarn. And I know someone on my YouTube posted that I could make thumbs knit flat. And of course I know that. But in this case, I had no intention of making thumbs. I don't really make thumbs. I kind of do like a half kind of gusset here when I knit fingerless mitts by hand. I do, of course, make mittens, full mittens. So I make thumbs. I know how to make a thumb. I know how to make a thumb on a machine. But in this case, I just wanted a quick mitt that I could reproduce. That's faster than my knitting by hand. Nice and quick and, doing it easy. So I had no intention of adding a thumb. And I had no intention of adding the top part of the mitten. I thought for a moment I might just make the mitten convertible. But then I thought once I make it convertible, I really do kind of need a thumb. And so I was like, oh, never mind. But this is just a quick fingerless mitt for me to be able to reproduce for all sorts of reasons. So no thumb. And also, too, the sock yarn is really lightweight. And I think for a mitt that I would want a thumb with, I would want a heavier yarn. So I'm waiting for the heavier needles to come. And once they do, and I can knit up a sport or maybe even the worsted with those needles, I might actually do a full mitten with the heavier yarn. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one. All right, so moving right along, I am making socks for another friend in Texas for one of her shops. So I'm working on some different pairs. These two are still connected. And you know what? Here's what happened, by the way. I was just cranking. And I kind of ran out of time. I was like, oh, it's time to make the video. But I hadn't closed up any of the socks. So normally I'd like to show you socks where they're all closed and Kitchener so you can enjoy the whole sock. But I'm thinking, and you kind of get the idea. So whenever you see this yarn on the end, that's just the blue waste yarn where I'm going to close the toe. So just kind of disregard that. These two are still even joined, by the way. And this is just commercial sock yarn. I want to say these are both Croy. Wait, maybe they're not. I think they're both Croy sock yarns. I don't know. I'm working on that. So what I did was for Julie's and for this group is I made myself a little sock chart cheat sheet. And there are sock charts around. I couldn't really find one that I liked. And so I just kind of made my own. And I separated them into extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. I tried to, put in the ones that were closest to each other based on the inches or centimeter measure of the foot. That's how I divided them up. And so I have children's here, men's and women's. So the women's 6 through 8 is basically the same as the men's 5 through 7, which is basically the same as the child's 4 through 5. And then I'm making for those two particular ladies the two sizes that are going to be the most popular sizes, at least in the US, for foot length by inches, the medium and the large. And then I think one requested a few of the extra large. And I'm only doing the extra small and small by request only, because I think for the most part, no one's really going to pay $30 for a handmade child sock, especially at the rate they grow out of socks. I don't know, maybe they will, but I would say it's probably better just to keep it into the adult, medium, large, potentially extra large range. So that's my sock chart. I assume everybody makes a sock chart when they make ranges. And it seems to fit pretty good. I tried on the size 6. It was okay. My mother tried on it. She wears an 8. It's pretty decent. So that's the chart I'm working from. Okay, I've got like a minute left. I really want to try to keep this all within the 10 minutes that's allotted on the Instagram. Okay, so what do I do with leftover yarns? Okay, so when I get to the end of a skein or end of a sock, I've got this stuff left over. And of course, this is when Boomer decides he wants to bang around. Anyway, and so I really want this thing off my bobbin because I have a limited amount of these plastic bobbins. And so I want my yarn, I want my bobbin back. So what I've decided to do is I'm cranking out all of the leftovers into tubes. I think it's going to be easier for me to store. And then I just mark the stitches per inch, and I put how many rows so that I can know automatically that I can probably get a set of short ankle socks from the one tube. This one I definitely cannot get a pair out of. And what I think I might do, because I don't really like Franken socks. I think they're kind of ugly. Sorry, everybody. I know, but I just have these color issues, which is why I'm dyeing my own sock yarn. Anyway, I don't really like Franken socks. So what I would do with this one is pair this with a black or a gray or even a solid red, and either make this into short socks or into a headband or something like that. Maybe 2 bottom cuffs of a mitt. Or I would repurpose it somehow to make it useful. And so I just think this is going to be a lot easier for me to store these right here than even winding these off onto the, let me show you that real quick. Okay, even winding it off onto the cardboard cone, this is a lot easier to store as a tube than it is in any of these 2 configurations. Okay, basically, that's all I have to say on Makers Monday. I'm going to get back to knitting a sock. I've got about 3 more socks to go till I finish. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day.